I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Let the roll call show that everybody is present. And we do have a quorum. And please join me in opening prayer. Lord, we are here today to move forward on town business. Will you bless us with your guidance to help us do what's best for our people? And God bless all of our employees that we have that does such a fine job for the town of Shoshoni. In this name I ask you, God. Amen. Amen. Can I have a motion to approve the agenda?
I move we approve the agenda with the following amendments to add under permits. D, business license application for AP Electrical Services. And E, a building permit. Unless we wanted to do B subsection 2, can we do that?
I guess you could just combine them, business license, it's the same company with a business license as a building.
Yeah, so B, add 2B, where it has a business license, Kevin French Anchored LLC, DBA 307 add also their building permit to that.
And I'll second it.
So been moved by Councilman Stedall, second by Councilman Hartke, that we add a building permit with the business license Kevin French at Anchored LLC DBA 307 ads. And D, that was
Business license application
bid
for AP Electrical Services.
AP Electrical. So been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? The addition for the agenda? None being, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed the same. Motion passed, all being affirmative. Any communications to citizens? Do we have anybody online? Consent agenda. We have a motion to approve the minutes from April 23rd, 2024. And a motion to approve the bills April 2024 through May 14th, 2024.
So moved.
Been moved by Councilman Stetler. We approved the
I'll second it.
consent agenda, second by Councilman Hartke. Any discussion?
The one thing that caught me off guard is it standard for a iPhone charge cord to be $208.
Pardon?
There's
We got the
a,
Oh,
bills.
there was other stuff on it.
That's just
Is
the
it
last thing
Amazon?
on the credit card.
okay, well, I see
Yeah.
iPhone charge, they're $10 at Fastlane, I
I know,
think.
right?
I mean, they're not as good at, okay,
Yeah, there was other items on the Amazon order.
okay, I feel
Yeah.
better.
Yeah.
It just, that's the bad part about the description, because it doesn't get the full, you can't, you're limited. And so, yeah.
Pretty nice card, huh?
It's a
Well, I
real
mean,
nice
my whole
cord.
phone cost $200 and it came with a free cord.
Right.
That was my expensive one.
Any other questions? None being, all in favor, say aye to approve the consent agenda.
What?
Aye. Opposed the same. Motion passed on the affirmative. We don't have anything next to resolutions, correct? Resolution 2404, public records request. Would,
I agree.
okay,
Resolution number 24-004, a resolution creating a policy on charges related to public record requests. Whereas the town of Shoshoni needs to have a policy setting fees and charges for fulfilling public records requests in the interest of the town. And whereas there does not exist a policy setting a fee schedule for fulfilling public record requests. And now therefore be resolved by the governing body of the town of Shoshoni creates the following fee schedule to be charged for all public record requests as follows. Number one, for letter one-sided, 15 cents per sheet, 35 cents for color. Two, letter two-sided, 20 cents per sheet, 40 cents color. Three, legal, one side, 20 cents per sheet, 40 cents color. Four, legal, two-sided, 25 cents per sheet, 45 cents color. 5, 11 by 17, one side, 25 cents per sheet, 45 cents color. 6, 11 by 17, two side, 30 cents per sheet, 50 cents color. 7, fax, $1.50 for the first page, 25 cents for each additional page. 8, return check fee, $30 for each denial of funds. 9, thumb drive, $5. 10, notary free for residents, $5, non-resident. 11, public records. A, website free. B, within 3 years, $100 per hour. C, older than 3 years, $200 per hour. Now therefore be resolved by the governing body of the township showing that the above resolution pertaining to the charging of fees for public record requests use is hereby adopted as official policy of the township.
can I have a motion to approve?
I'll make the motion to approve.
It's been moved by Councilwoman Arkey that we approve resolution 24-004, public records request. Can I have a second?
Second.
And second by Councilman Stetler. Discussion.
I agree, we need a record, policy of this. But, I believe the fees for searching records are too expensive. I think you are publicly excluding a group of people who do not have the funds to pay $100 an hour or $200 an hour. I think those are excessive beyond our citizens' ability to pay.
Do we really have a lot of people that are going within 3 years though?
I can't answer that. I would like to see it charged the minimum rate of a assistant clerk per hour. So if the assistant clerks make $43 an hour, that's what it should be. But not $100 an hour. So based upon what that clerk's hourly wage is.
I know in having that exact same discussion. But sometimes it involves multiple clerks.
Then you charge
Charge
multiple
per-
hours.
Per clerk per,
Yeah,
right,
but I think $100 an hour, to me, it needs to be done if we charge multiple clerk, if we're using multiple clerks. Say it in our resolution. But I disagree with, I think the $100 an hour, $200 an hour is too expensive.
You know, when we were looking around trying to get some polling in other areas, Riverton, Lander is around 50. Sundance, or sorry, not Sundance, Star Valley, which is comparable size area, that whole area down there, is 150. Cheyenne's 150. And so we were trying to strike a balance there. Some of the stuff, it's not just the time, it's the time lost doing everything else. We have generally one person that's doing 10 different things here. There's so much going on that wasn't going on 5 years ago. where we don't have time to go on Pinterest and play on, the internet. And so when you're pulling someone off of that task, and then they're fulfilling these tasks and they come back to it, then we're so far behind, so that's where you get this, you can't really put a number behind it, I guess is what I'm trying to say. If you try to, isolate each individual employee that's providing some aspect of it, because they're taking away from something else. And then they have to go back to their task, and then they're behind on everything else, which requires additional time to get back on track for our deadlines and things of that nature. So that's kind of where that $100 per hour as a flat rate came from. We were trying to strike a balance there. Now, this is $100 per hour. A lot of requests would probably take 15 minutes. So it would be it wouldn't be a full hour. It's not like a full bill hour, it'd be a percentage of that. I guess, in increments of 15 minutes or 10 minutes, what have you, would be the actual fee that's charged, not a flat.
And isn't much
not-
of the,
Excuse me.
okay, and also much of water requests, it's, if they do their own research, it's online already, because we got a lot of stuff online.
For a lot of the things, but when it comes to doing research for history on things, and some of the requests we've received have wanted a history on things that we can't answer other than saying we don't have it, which I don't think suffices. If someone's wanting a public service or a public request for documents of some kind, if we don't have what they're requesting, they want to know why that particular document does or does not exist, and having that backstory, so that takes more time there too. There's also, we have to screen depending on what the request is for confidentiality, so that involving our attorney, involves the police department, involves other things. We've had requests for video. Again, video surveillance we have to go back and we have to watch that to make sure there's no compromising information on that video and edit that out. So that can take up to hours. And then we have to bring other people in to be able to do things to catch up. So it's hard to put a number behind it, I guess is what I'm saying, but I can say that if someone wanted just a simple inspection, they can come in and inspect whatever they want for free.
That's not listed in here.
Well, I mean,
Only thing that's free is the
The website's free.
website and the Notary Public.
but that's also in the Public Records Act is that it says that they have access to the document, so they come in here, they can do an inspection. So I guess we didn't think that needed to be spelled out here since it's already stated in the law. So I guess if they're wanting us to do the research for them, when they can do it themselves, then that's where that comes from.
It does, it takes a lot of time, you lose so much of what you're doing and the deadlines that you still had to meet. So it's really time consuming.
So I guess I'm not saying $100 is the right charge, but that's what we came up with, and that's justification of why we came up with that.
Which was lower than Star Valley and their small.
Star Valley's huge.
The town itself, or the
After,
community.
it's bigger than by us, by far. They have a stoplight.
Right, I have my cert.
And higher property taxes.
And far higher.
So can you phrase it to where you either had the first 15 minutes is free, or anything requires an appointment, or
Well,
$50 an hour per employee after 10 minutes?
and so a lot of what we're getting recently is a plethora of requests that are 1, 2 a day, another one, 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 another one. And we spent 4 days doing nothing but lost about 4 days of time trying to fulfill these requests.
Can you do a minimum? So I understand what you're,
So I guess part of this is also, and I'm gonna say this very carefully, the attorney's not here, but the weaponization of the public request law is a real thing. And it's designed to put government to a standstill for things that don't exist. And they can come in here and they can look at the books themselves. But they don't do that. They would rather us do it for them and waste our time, and we don't get the will of the people done for the community which we serve. And that's a problem.
Then we need to, even in this, we should say, our books are open to the public and you may come and look at them by yourself.
I can add that. We can certainly
Okay.
add that
And
under
But if we have to do it, this is gonna be the charges.
So I find the tipping point. This is my example. People come over to our yard, they want to go browse for car parts. Same thing. They don't mind helping, but it costs so much money for them to come and tell their stories and blah, 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 blah. So anymore started saying, hey, can I come look at parts? I said, the first part is $50. Well, what if don't come? I said, I don't care if it's a light bulb, if it's a tail light, because it costs us so much money of downtime and to either go show or help, we're just not set up for it. And I feel if we had someone that was their job, because we had an influx of people every single day, and say that's their salary, they get paid to sit there and be in the box and answer questions. But so I think it's kind of there's a combo of trying to not discourage people,
Right.
but at the same time, weed out the serious buyers, and the browsers need to.
I mean, when you're just slinging mud at a wall, looking for something that you can use as an excuse for whatever your narrative is, it's wasting our time. And yeah, you might find something where a mistake was made, great. You know, that's what this is for.
Meanwhile, our budget won't be done.
Yeah, and that's what we've been trying to, exactly.
So I don't know how you would phrase that in here, because I'm not trying to deter anybody from coming in, inspecting, asking questions. They have every right to do so. Every right.
I would say by appointment. Can you say by appointment only? I mean, within reason, if someone comes to,
Well, the way that not the Sunshine Act, but essentially what it is, the Records Public Request Act, Open Meetings Act and all that relegate this. It specifically states that if you put in a request, it has to be fulfilled within 30 days. And if it can't be fulfilled within 30 days, within 7 days, we have to notify them of when it will be made available and why we're not able to facilitate at this time. But when you're getting a request and then 2 days later, the same request for something else, and you're getting a request that's already put in,
Multiple a day.
and I don't know how you phrase that in a way, because if you say, well, the first one's free, well, what's that mean? Well, the first one in a week, first one in a month, but then if you start saying that, then you're bridging against the Open Meeting Act.
so let it be a written
So-
request.
So the only way to really phrase it is a fee for a request. But we can't limit it, is what I'm trying to say. We'll fulfill these requests, but they're gonna take time, and it's. I don't want to discourage someone who has a serious concern from coming down and asking questions and looking. I think that we've been very accommodating on that, but when, that's on their time.
Sure, there's a price to pay.
But if you want us to do it and take away from our duties and our responsibilities for getting things done, then there needs to be some kind of, it's costing taxpayer money.
Sure. It's the difference between going to the ER and making an appointment. You want us right here, right now, we'll do it. I don't care what time, but this is what you
Yeah, if they want to
pay.
put a request.
You
to
want
come
the
look at
answer
it,
right now?
and
No
that can be
problem.
free.
We start clicking, $200 an hour. If you'd like to make an appointment at their leisure, then we have a standard $50 an hour.
Well, we wouldn't charge them if they want to make an appointment to come in and inspect something. We'll make that available for free.
How about if we just added you got public records, A, website free, B, public records inspection free, C, $100, D, $100. Then you can inspect the records for free on there.
Which is fine, provided that we're not standing there sometimes, but.
Public records inspections by appointment.
But I also need to point out, there's certain things I can't just say, have at it, limit our vault, because there's confidential information. So again, you're still gonna have to have some kind of supervision on what they do, depending on what they're asking.
I understand what you're saying.
Kind of like what Mike
That's
was
why-
just described.
Yeah,
And you
so
can't really just.
That's why I
walk-
was saying this is a complicated thing. And that's why it's phrased just this way.
And you
It's
can't
because of
just
those
walk
reasons.
off when somebody has archived records that's the only copy that exists.
Right. Or
May or may
if
not
there's
be there
confidential
later.
information somewhere in that packet that we have to make sure that they don't access. So that's kind of the slippery slope we navigate, and we modeled this off of other communities. So
How do you determine what is confidential?
by law, personnel files,
Right.
things that have information, law enforcement files, things of that nature or contact information, things that have the protect the integrity if someone submitted a bid that is not, it's our business as the town, but it's not yet public information, so therefore it's not open for disclosure and things like that, names, dates of birth, social security numbers, and documents that are being examined, all those types of things.
We're supposing about the video deal, this was my concern when I first heard that, supposing I'm up there trying to work out a payment plan on the water bill because I'm a little bit behind this month. Do you get to watch that? Because you said it's at the town hall. Is that your right? No, that's confidentiality. That's a breach of confidentiality for other people. Those types of things can't go out. That's inappropriate.
And what would be the purpose of something like that?
Other than to embarrass me because I
Right.
couldn't pay my $37.
And so, because of all that, I mean, putting all that into a document and describing every little instance that, oh, well, this might happen, this might happen, this might happen. It would be so cumbersome, it would be unworkable. So this is the version that is derived from that to try to make it accessible. I will say if somebody puts in a request that takes 5 minutes, 10 minutes, it would be, you know, a portion of $100.
Okay, but that's not stated in this.
Right. Well,
So we need to make it as clear as we can.
sure.
Yeah.
We make it $100 per hour in 15-minute increments.
That's
Or
right.
6 minute increments, 1/10 of an hour.
Yeah.
I work for an engineering firm, that's the way we do our.
Or 5
billable
minutes,
rate.
I guess we
What-
charge 5 minutes.
It's exactly that.
I was just thinking we're gonna have a big timer right on the wall that said,
We don't have any clock yet.
Yeah, we gotta get a clock,
But I think it's 15 minutes.
But that would be
so you round down or whatever.
whatever, yeah.
We'll rate it.
You know, if it's 21 minutes, it'd be 15 minutes.
we need Marshall here. He can
25
explain the
bucks.
billing clock real well. Probably has one on his phone.
Well, yeah, we,
But I would be fine adding that. I think that's the intention anyway, so.
Yeah. But unless it's stated,
Sure.
it's not valid.
And we could definitely add that in there and specify that in that request.
I think we also need to have something in about confidential files. There will not be. You just say, some files, 11, some files are not open to the public because they're confidential.
Well, this is only setting fines and fees.
yeah,
This isn't setting the policy on what we can and can't release.
That's kind of already defined by law.
It is, but this is only setting the policy on what we're charging to give what we can give, not
Okay.
defining what we can or can't.
And what I did is I did an e-blast through WAMCAT to get what does all the areas utilize for their public records requests. And so that's what, we got 5 responses: Sheridan, Cheyenne, Star Valley. I'm sorry, there's 2 others, but the layout of them and the layout of their fees and fines was, the best one was Cheyenne and Star Valley, because it clearly showed step by step. The other ones were kind of, this one's a lot more clear cut than the other ones in showing what the charges are.
but still, I think you brought up a good point. I don't know if Bob, that. What's the number? Is it $100 an hour, $60 an hour? Didn't we have as high as 200 or 300, or at least 200 an hour? Didn't you, Kim?
Yeah, that was, I believe Cheyenne was double, wasn't it?
And one of them was at least 200, I know, I think.
And it takes them just 1 hour to walk from one end to the other,
Yeah.
probably there,
But
so.
yeah, we wanna. I try to. Keep from getting shut down or doing this stuff that shuts our off, because we don't have you're looking at our staff, we don't have a
And it
big
gets
staff
good.
and everybody's pretty busy. But we also don't wanna. People have legitimate, you know, to be able to research also. I mean, we're not trying to hide something, you know what I mean?
How successful are we adding old documents to our website for people to search? Are we even doing that?
I archived like all our minutes that I could go back that I had a record of. On the website, I believe it's 2016, 2017. All our bills are listed in the agenda with the agenda.
Okay, I'll throw a different topic, the rifle range, do we have all the documents for the rifle range on our website?
No, because doing so again would be a Herculean task that would require multiple people, probably months to be able to archive all that, because you still have to go through and you're still gonna have to screen everything for confidentiality to redact certain documentation. And that we have a digital file. Melissa was making things, that's when she first got hired, if you remember back in COVID. That was her job, was to start digitizing all of our files. So yes, we do have one, but it's not accessible to the general public, and that way it's more meant for our records, so for audits and things of that nature.
Well, so my question is, are we even attempting to add anything more to our website other than current meetings and or anything from the past documents to make that expand that the digital library open? Is Melissa doing any documentation downloading onto the website now?
Well, we put things like our resolutions, we put our ordinances, we put our budget amendments, we put our budget, we put our anything that involves money is on the website, our quarterly reports, all the financials that we've had for the years. Now, as far as going back in time, no, that's not been archived. That's only since I've been here, what I've done with that going forward. I mean, we could go back and start adding histories of things like that, to make it more researchable.
But would we have to hire someone
Yeah,
to
that's
do
what
it
I was
like we
just gonna
gonna
did,
do
say,
it?
we don't have.
like we did before?
And
Yeah.
that's kind of the thing, is who's gonna do it, you know?
Yeah.
But
That's the tough part.
Yeah.
We don't have the person.
Yeah, we don't have.
I don't
enough
disagree with you. We
personnel.
could put more on the internet for people to be
Which
able
would be
to
awesome.
research. I totally
Yeah.
agree with you. What we have on there, I can say, is more than most cities or towns in the state of Wyoming. Not all, but most. But we can always look at adding more things, but again, it just comes down to,
Person.
Yeah, and you know, and I'd also like to, you know, develop a more user-friendly website than what we have myself.
Yeah, we've talked about that.
Yeah, we've been kicking that around, but I reached out online to somebody and I think it was some sort of scam, so I didn't, but yeah,
It's even harder to operate on the back end.
yeah, yeah.
It's not really.
We need a much user-friendly. Yeah, but it would. But maybe, I don't know, we'd have to look at, you know, hiring someone to do that. Or something,
but again, I mean, that's like an archives, like
yes,
is, you know, archivist, and that's, you know, when you think about hospitals or any entity that goes to archive all their historical records, and that it's something that's subcontracted out just because of how big of a
Yeah.
task it is going through everything. I try to put everything out there that I can think is relevant to the people that have the best information possible, and be as educated as they can with anything they request. But you know, when it starts coming to digging in boxes upon boxes, when we moved town hall, for example, we had to hire a company because we had so many boxes of documents we moved. I mean, that's probably millions of pages accrued over time, and it's just, what we have now, keeping it going forward, updated is one thing, but going back in time and starting to pull that back out is where it gets a little bit more difficult.
and we haven't unpacked all them boxes in our library, cause they don't have time. They're working while we can, when there's time available, Melissa's working on that all the time, and she's got some free free time, you know, but it's, we only have so many people.
Why the cutoff at 3 years? Why not 5 years or 7?
Well, I mean, that's just it's arbitrary thing, but usually 3 years is what we have, is by law, we have to keep readily accessible by most, some of our.
Okay,
documents get-
I didn't know that, so that's why I'm asking.
That's why, because,
I mean, income tax, you can stay for 7 years,
but you don't have to keep 3. Because after 3, the government can't come after you.
allegedly.
Okay, fair enough,
Yeah, okay.
but that's why.
Do we? Can we craft that here, or should we bring it up next meeting and?
Just, if you want, just what changes you want me to add to it, and then it'll be done. You know, or with what changes you want. I can make that happen if it's,
Okay,
per hour and 10-minute increments, 15-minute increments. 1-minute increments. I
yeah,
mean, what have you.
yeah, 15 is usually pretty good. I would think.
That was my intention.
So I would suggest we go in 15-minute increments. Adjust the fee to a per person. So if it's. Whatever that number wants to be, so if it's $50 an hour per person, so if you put two staff on it, it's $100 an hour. If that, I don't know if the people that come in can't afford it, maybe it doesn't really matter anyway, but. Or it needs to say on there, it's $100 per hour per person. Probably something that signifies that, well, I want the best bang for my buck, so I expect everybody in this entire building to be working for me right now.
That ain't gonna happen. What I'll do, I'll say, you can come back in 6 months, we'll have your records for you. Have a good day. I'm serious.
I don't envy on this at all, but
That's where I'm at. I mean, that's honestly where I'm at, is that I'm gonna start denying requests until I can get them. Because I can't get to them right now. She can't get to them right now. And that's not the intention of this.
Well,
That's not the intention of the law. The law is to be open to the public, not abused by the public.
yes, and the whole thing is, I think. Why this is so necessary to have. Is I have a public records folder. It was empty. Now it's this full. That's just recent. It was totally empty for the whole time I've been here.
I don't think the per. Or the increments of 15 minutes or whatever needs to be added. I mean, you go to any place, go to mechanic shops, $120 an hour. Everybody knows that's, well, half an hour,
And it's
quarter
not
hour. I mean, it's standard.
Yeah.
It's not a new concept.
well, that's what I can find. It comes down to your description. I like the mechanic example, because I've learned, you can
They
stop
put
there.
tenths of an hour.
Well, and
tenths.
you have that latitude of, here's my problem.
Okay,
Took 5 minutes and they're on your
Stop.
way. Other
Yeah.
times it's, well, we can do this, but we're gonna, if you want us to plug into your truck, we're
Right,
not
but it's,
gonna.
they don't tell you in how many increments. It's
Right,
just,
well,
no.
here's your shop rate per hour. It took me 10 minutes. Okay, that's
and if you watch, they charge more. If you help, they charge more.
Yep. If you worked on it before, it's
Yeah.
triple, yeah.
I'm not so much worried about the per person thing, is it just gets, then we're tracking, well, you spent 7 minutes, you spent 13, you spent 30.
Yeah, it's all at night. I mean,
And that just gets really
That's
convoluted.
nightmare.
I'm just trying to keep something that's simple, that's definable, that they know what they're getting. If it takes us 4 people, it takes us 15 minutes, it's the same amount, instead of 15 minutes per person. Just, it's done, it's 15 minutes, flat fee, move on.
I think it's worth giving it a try, and if the system, if it's being abused, we can always revise it. You know, if it's like, well, this ain't working out, the community's not being treated properly, we need to change the resolution, easy peasy.
Put cash only on there for payment.
Well, we take checks, as long as they don't bounce, that'll be under $30.
It's, So with that. So there's no minimum charge, you come in, it's 5 minutes. So it's, that leaves it to the discretion to charge for 5 minutes or.
Or let the 5 minutes go and say it's just being a public servant,
Right.
because it's not with
That's
malicious intent,
exactly.
it's just simple.
I mean, if somebody comes in and something we just grab off the shelf and say, here you go.
Right.
Filled, in that case, that's an obvious. If it's,
Just doing their job.
yeah, it's like an
And-
inspection.
You know,
But
too, that.
When you're taking time off, what you're doing as a normal part of your everyday job to fulfill this, and it takes you 15-30 minutes, that's what we're talking about. And there's no problem putting it per hour in whatever increments. You know, you have a starting rate of an hourly rate, and then it's broken up that way. You want it to be discernible to the people when they read this as our policy, they know, if you say $100 per hour, they might say, you know, assume it's $100, but if you say it's $100 per hour, whatever it is, per hour in 15-minute increments, then they can do the math, you know, and understand that. It's gonna cost me $20 or whatever to get this, or $10.
But there's no telling how long it's gonna take to acquire everything.
We
Like
won't
when
do
I
it.
get one, I draw everything that I'm doing because I want it off my desk and out the door completed. You know, one less thing that I have. So the faster that we can do it and get it out the door, get the person satisfied. And you just cross your fingers, it's not gonna take away that much more of your time.
But it gets, where it gets interfering too much with your job and you
Exactly.
just, don't have time to do it. And you
Yeah.
gotta, cause we're in a budget right now trying to figure all this and you get slammed with a bunch of requests.
Yep.
Very poor time, you know what I mean? And we
Yeah.
really don't have time because everybody pretty much got a full-time job that works there.
Well, it's our duty to fulfill requests,
Yes,
and we will, but there's a point when it's, like I said, there has to be some counterbalance to it being we're so open that it can be weaponized against us and the staff. For animosity, whatever you want to call it, I don't care, but it's true, and it happens, and that's why there's fees out there, because it costs time of employees to do that. And I wish it was free. They want to come look at it, you know, they can come inspect what they want. I'll have an officer standing there, depending what it is, it just depends what it is, but. I really don't care what the fee is, but it needs to be something that's not too cumbersome for the general public that wants to see something. Versus someone that's wanting to do it multiple times, looking for. The proverbial witch hunt, proverbial witch hunt. I don't know the answers. But I think it needs to have somewhat of a nominal charge to fulfill.
so where are we at? More thoughts? What do we wanna,
I'm okay with that one.
or,
Yeah, I'm okay with passing it. Way it is right now. I mean,
Cool question.
yeah,
okay? No further discussion? All in favor of, resolution 24004, public records request as presented? Say aye.
Aye.
Aye, oppose the same? Aye. Passed, noted that Councilman Zen voted opposed. Resolution 24005, police officer week. Were you gonna read that, Chris or Kim?
Resolution number 24-005. To recognize National Police Week 2024 and honor the service and sacrifice of those law enforcement officers killed in the line of duty while protecting our communities and safeguarding our democracy. Whereas there are over 800,000 law enforcement officers serving in communities across the United States, including the dedicated members of the Shoshoni Police Department. And whereas since the first recorded death in 1786, nearly 23,000 law enforcement officers in the United States have made the ultimate sacrifice and been killed in the line of duty. And whereas the names of these dedicated public servants are engraved on the walls of the National Law Enforcement Officers Memorial in Washington, D.C. And whereas 282 new names of fallen heroes are being added to the National Law Enforcement Officers Memorial, including 48 firearms related, 32 traffic related, 10 felonious assaults, and 164 officers who died in previous years. And whereas the service and sacrifice of all officers killed in the line of duty will be honored during the National Law Enforcement Officers Memorial Fund's annual candlelight vigil on the evening of May 13th, 2024. And whereas the candlelight vigil is part of National Police Week, which takes place this year on May 11th through 17th. And whereas May 15th is designated as Peace Officers Memorial Day in honor of all fallen officers and their families, and U.S. flags should be flown and staff. And now therefore be it resolved that the town of Shoshoni formally designates May 12th through 18th, 2024 as Police Week in Shoshoni, and publicly salutes the service of law enforcement officers in our community and the communities across the nation.
Can I have a motion to approve resolution 24005, Police Officer Week?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Been moved by Councilman Hardkey, second by Councilman Zant. To approve the resolution. Any further discussion? Yeah, I just like to say that, you know, we owe a lot to our police officers. We have, not only here in Shoshone, but elsewhere, but for us, particularly here in Shoshone, we have a very, very good force that looks out for us here. And I think our police force in Fremont County, the different organizations work very closely and well together, helping each other out. I think the state can look at what we're doing here in Fremont County, and that's one reason that's what we have, helping each other's out, you know, from Riverton, Lander, and the county here helping us, and Bird and Riverton and Warren Lander helping out, and it's a good thing we have here. Very lucky. Anybody else, anything to say? Chris or Kim, any?
I can't touch on that one, I'll make them cry.
Yeah, okay, I know. It's an event. No further discussion. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, the same. Motion passed on the affirmative. Permits. Business license, Stephanie Smith, EAS Text Tower LLC.
I believe this is the company doing the maintenance upgrades to the
Yes, the bright.
T-Mobile tower.
The tower on Muskrat.
It's not Verizon, it's T-Mobile.
Oh, yeah.
T-Mobile.
How I
If we had T-Mobile, it'd actually work here.
that's right.
Or, sorry, if we had Verizon tower, it actually, our volts would actually work here. Yeah,
I
T-Mobile
always
tower.
call it Verizon.
But
The
the-
new ones,
Yeah,
the current project's for Google.
do what?
The current project over there's from Google.
Is that what they're doing?
So they're putting those substations every 50 miles, so they were doing one in Waltman. It's just to drive past Waltman, they're installing one there, so it increases bandwidth. They're striving to do about every 50 miles. So this,
I knew it was upgrades with something, but
you know,
makes sense.
so they're supposed to have some type of, I don't know if it's there or not, but it's almost like a little data center, some little garden shed or something that gets set on the concrete pad, and then they've been working, they went here and then something else in Wheatland, somewhere else along that area where the same contractor was putting in these. The foundations for them.
I move we approve this building permit.
I'll second it.
Been moved by Councilman Zant, second by Councilman Hartke, that we approve the
You said building permit.
business license.
Business, okay, business.
Business license for
Thank you.
Stephanie Smith. Any further discussion? None being, all in favor, say aye. Aye, opposed the same, motion passed, all in the affirmative. Business license and building permit for Kevin Branch Anchor LLC DBA as 307 Ads, Kevin French has purchased 1 acre just north of town, where there's an old billboard that's in pretty bad shape. He plans to tear down that old billboard, which is on the northeast end of the property, and move it to the southeast end of the property there about. And it's gonna be approximately the same size. I believe it's gonna be higher off the ground. Because I believe it's what they put in a letter. He's checked with DOT. I've talked with the residents that are next to Amber, their next property where the sign would be. They have no concerns about that being there. There's no zoning at this time to prevent it to be there, and it'll be a nice, good looking sign. I don't know if anybody has any questions. I believe that Kevin was gonna be online, or was gonna try to be online.
He's online.
Okay, if you have any questions for Kevin, but I'd like entertain a motion to approve.
Move we approve the business license and building permit for Kevin French.
I'll second it.
Been moved by Councilman Stetler, second by Councilman Harkey, that we approve both the business license and the building permit for Kevin French for the new billboard. Any further discussions? He did a real good job of presenting us the information on this.
Yeah, and there's no ordinance
Right.
preventing it, and there's no neighbors that object to it. I don't see any issue.
No. Any more discussion? None being, all in favor, say aye. Aye, opposed the same. Motion passed, all in the affirmative. C, business license. Debbie Duhon, Cajun Rendezvous. I believe that's
Vendor.
food vendor.
Move we approve the license.
Second.
Been moved by Councilman Stetler, second by Councilman Zant, to approve the business license for Debbie Duhon. Any further discussion? None being, all in favor.
Her permit, she said she's gonna sit on west end of town by Love's Hotel. Does she have the option to move that any place she wants?
Yes. Yeah, we actually talked to her.
Okay, she knows that, okay.
So, yeah, we, Melissa told her kind of the other spots that she can.
Okay,
sit.
that's, I just wanted to make sure she could.
Yeah, that was after. she-
You bet, okay, that's all.
Any more questions? None be, and all in favor, say aye. Aye, opposed the same. Motion passed, all in the affirmative, a business license for Debbie Duhon. We have a business license for AP Electrical.
Yep.
And a motion to approve.
Move we approve the business license for AP Electrical Services.
And a
Second
second. Been moved by Councilman Stetler, second by Councilman Harkey, that we approve the business license for AP Electrical. Discussion. Any discussion? None being, all in favor, say aye. Aye, opposed the same. Motion passed, all in the affirmative. Uh. Text my government contract renewal. Unfinished business.
So this is a renewal for the Text My Gov service that we began in 2021. And we had some citizens' usage of it. It's kind of gone down a little bit. Really not used at all. But the other component of it was signing people up with their cell phones for notifications. And we made a couple pushes throughout the years and just didn't get a lot of response. And so I had reached out to Text My Gov about just canceling the service because we could probably use the money for other things in a better way. It's $2,000 a year. And so that started a conversation with them. And what they're offering to do is add in to remodify our site more for the alert side. And they do have a free service, not free, but they're going to give it to us for free if we renew it. That would allow all of our people in a defined boundary that have a a zip code for Shoshoni, that we can automatically mass spam alert messages. So it's more on the alert side than the text, ask questions side that we had it set up for before, where you would text the number, water leak, and then it give you a prompt you for to add, information, they give you answers, information automatically, kind of like an algorithm based thing. That didn't really get used a lot. We have a lot of elderly people that don't really use their cell phones in that manner as much. This, what they're talking about, would be a more strictly on the alert side, while combining a little bit more rebranding of what we can do with it. And so I included the emails so you guys can read those in there, but that's the crux of what they're wanting to kind of rework, which would come up with more marketing that to send out on how to use it for notifications, as well as being able to expand the reach of the notifications and emergencies beyond just those that have submitted their phone numbers to be added. I think I know Riverton has it. And there's a lot of other communities in Wyoming that also have it, but they're all mainly just using it for notification side. We were trying to use it for answering questions and things like that. It just doesn't get the usage here that you might get somewhere else. It can be kind of cumbersome because you're not interfacing with a real person. You're interfacing with pre-selected questions and keywords that trigger menus. And that's not something that, is very, it's more of a novel thing to elderly people that are not used to cell phones in that manner. So it's not utilized like it could be. But that will still remain, that's not gonna go away, they can still do that. And they're gonna do a full revamp of it, take a look at our prompts to see if they can streamline those, make it more simple, make them more easily discernible and information fed out from what people are looking for, and not as complicated as many steps. But the main component of it would be just group messaging based on our defined boundaries that we can draw.
So it'll just send it to every phone in that area.
Yeah, so we could just do just Shoshoni. We could broaden it Shoshoni and a mile outside. We can do Shoshoni and Bonneville. We can draw the area. Anything within our zip code that has a post office box will get, every phone will get that message. That's what we don't currently have added to it right now, that they're gonna add that to a service. So that's,
But it doesn't do anything with landlines.
it's cellular only, yeah.
Okay, I know the school had a system where anybody with a landline was notified as well.
And that might be, I'll have to contact, that might be a thing that, but that would be like a pre-recorded like message or something like that. Like
Well, there's no school today, or their kid is $3.18 a hole in his lunch account.
Yeah, we should get those,
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about then.
Yes.
Yeah, but
They still do that.
Yeah.
I'll have to ask if they can do that with sending like pre-recorded messages.
Yeah,
as opposed
saying,
to
well,
text
there's-
messages.
okay,
I don't know.
example, like there's a water line break,
Right.
So that's what I'm looking at, is there option for landlines?
I would have to ask them.
And then then you'd hit anybody up for like 876 number.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. And that might be part of it. I just didn't clarify, so I don't want to say, yes, that's the case.
So I'm just asking questions.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I don't want to give you any wrong information. Like I told you when we first started this, I wanted to give it a shot and see how it goes, and we did. And I still think it's a good thing to have. It's a good tool to have for $2,000 a year. It's not a whole lot of money. But I wanted to make sure that was dependent on people signing up for it, and we just weren't getting the reach that we needed. And so now, this has been a couple of years, so now they have this map drawing boundary that brings in all the zip code, all the phone numbers related to, based on your PO box. So that has advanced, that they would add to our service now. And
So does that make it so that you don't have to rely on them signing up?
Yeah,
That makes sense.
but the
How long
question,
of a contract would that be?
oh, it would be, it's just year to year now. First one was 2 years, but now it's just year to year. That's why I was gonna
So
cancel,
we could try it for a year and
see how it goes.
Should we wait and see if it does do landlines?
I'd
first?
like to get more information on it.
Okay. Yeah, I can clarify that.
You know? I would think that would be easy for them to include, but I don't know.
Well,
I still got a 876 number.
I do too, but I don't know the phone.
so the 876 numbers would cover Bonneville, Lysite.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah,
So that's what I'd have to ask them if this is cell phone only or if
Yeah,
it also,
Right,
that's what I need is clarification before I make an opinion.
that's fair, I can do that.
Then I move we table text my government contract until we get more information on it.
I'll second it.
been moved by Councilman Zent, second by Councilman Harkey, that we table it till next meeting. Until we get more information.
Yeah, and I'll reach back out to them.
Right.
This we can get that clarified by then.
I got the other question is, are we time sensitive on the renewing or, okay?
No.
Okay, good enough.
Well, I mean, we can't wait till December, but
Right, yeah, we can wait, okay, good enough. Any further discussion? None being all. Favor say aye.
Aye.
Both same motion passed in the affirmative. New business, Inberg Miller certificate of substantial completion. Advertised for final payment. They're just about done. They're doing some pavement, road repair, stuff like that now,
yeah, Maple Street.
right?
Yeah, there was that list of. Yeah,
And there's still a punch list that they're working on
Right.
getting done. A lot of this, the timing of it is, we're trying, because this is money that we have to have expended by June 30th. We already got one extension on this project. It's supposed to be done December 30th,
Yeah.
31st. We got a 6-month extension. And so I reached out to Inberg Miller and said, I don't know what magic you gotta pull, but you need to get them on the ball and figure this out and get this done like yesterday. So they came up with a list, they talked to the contractors, and they came out with a schedule that the state of Wyoming, SLIB, well, actually, it's the Business Council, was agreeable to. They have everything done. The final part of this is the advertising, which is required before we can make that payment. We have to advertise it prior to that, and that's why this is what we're trying to do. We're not closing the project out today. We're just advertising the final payment will be paid or submitted for final payment at a hearing, which would be at the end of June. And so we have to get that approval to get that advertised. So we can get it before the 30th of June, so we get our money back.
I move, we advertise for final payment. Is that what you're looking for?
That's when we're,
Okay.
I'll second it.
Been moved by Councilman Stetler, second by Councilman Hartley, that we have advertised for final payment on the
Inberg move.
for Lindbergh Mill on the West Side project. Any further discussion? None being, all in favor say aye. Aye. Both same. Motion passed on the affirmative. Water PER engineers selection. We would like to depend on everybody's schedule. And like meet Friday and go through an interview process with them like we did. Did we have 5 applicants?
We have 5. My suggestion, if we did that, would be that they're limited to a 15-minute presentation
Yeah.
per, not
Right.
to exceed. And then, as of last time, and then move forward. So it'd be hour and 15 minutes, I guess, hour and a half long total meeting, probably.
I'll be out of town, take all the time you like.
The other way we can do, we advertise for an interview, but we could do a selection committee in-house. Without having, just other options than that, but that was the best option.
I vote Mike's in-house that does it.
Anytime between the hours of 8 PM and 8 AM, we're wide open.
This Friday, the 17th,
Yes,
Yeah, that was,
what time?
it would be an hour and a half. I would prefer to do like at 6 and be out of here by dinner time, but
I can do 6.
be done by
6 o'clock?
7:30, if we limit them to 15 minutes. I mean, this is gonna be a small project. This isn't a huge expansive thing, so it shouldn't be a long presentation. But in all fairness, it gives them the opportunity to state their case and be rated and move forward from there.
Friday work.
Friday works for me. I'm going some Thursday.
Would you be able to make it Friday also, Mike? Okay. So,
Need one more councilman.
Tammy,
I can make it.
Jake,
I think so. I don't know.
that's 4 councilmen.
You only need.
Mike, you're gonna be out of town or you're gonna be here?
I pick up kids in Rock
Oh, okay.
Springs. I'm back by 9:30, so if you want to postpone.
9:30 to 11?
9:30 to 11. See who shows up.
Pizza? We could hold the meeting down at the, I don't know,
Fast lane.
fast lane, yeah. And have food and drinks there,
Food court.
Happy
food
hour.
court, yeah. Diet Pepsi, yeah.
I move we have a special meeting for the water PER engineering selection on Friday, the 17th at 6 o'clock.
Second it.
Been moved by Councilman Zant, second by Councilwoman Hart, yeah, I was gonna say Stetler. It's, we have, we interview engineer selection, 6 PM Friday, this Friday, the 17th.
Yes.
The 17th. Any further discussion? None being, all in favor say aye. Aye. Both the same. Motion passed all in the affirmative. Department head report, Mike.
Good evening, Mayor Highsmith, town council members. On this Saturday, the May 18th, town cleanup will start. We'll continue to May 24th on Friday. We hired Steve Manel back for part-time job during the town cleanup.
Okay,
Bart and Mike were able to change out the windsock and take down the town hall sign over at 102 East Second Street.
yes,
We finally caught a break on that weather-wise. I mean, it was 70 degrees and today it's this again.
mm-hmm,
Bart, Mike and I, we had some hands-on training on the newly completed lift station up on 7th Street. We are still waiting on some training on the backup generator, which will not happen until they install a gas line and meter over there. We're waiting on that for Black Hills Energy. I completed the CCR and submitted it to EPA for compliance check. As soon as I get that, I'll send that out. And EPA, they have adopted some new rules regulating the PFAS. So with the water system, will have to be doing more testing. That will be, we have until 2027 to do the initial monitoring, but I'm gonna try to get it done next year. That there will be 4 tests. 4 tests, yeah,
Mhm.
2. I'm gonna do 2 tests in March. And then they want a 5 to 7 month. Before you take the second test.
Okay,
So I figure in August I will do the second round. Each testing will cost $300 a piece. That was the last time I knew that. I don't know if they changed that.
So have you put this into your new budget?
Yes,
Okay,
I talked about that.
okay, just,
And Chris said there was money there. Yeah,
Okay.
so. And on this cleanup here, I had one resident asking, do we accept concrete? She has some pieces that are about 1 by 1. And a few larger ones that she wants to dispose of. Are we accepting concrete? Give them to Mike.
Okay.
So on the one hand, you're up against $80 per ton. So a little bag adds up really quick. The other thing, if you say, we'll take concrete, you may end up with a pile of concrete.
that could cost, a couple of years ago, the fee we had, it was a lot. I don't know where to. It was a whole lot of concrete, enough to bring them in to crush it up and make something of, you know what I mean?
That's the problem, you see. So as a random example, so the city of Riverton they were accepting yard waste, it became a problem, so now it is down to, I think, 6 inches and smaller diameter, no stumps, they're very specific, and then one of those things is no fill dirt, no concrete. Because it got abused. So the lady that has the one or the two, if you say, yeah, we'll take concrete, now you're gonna end up with the person that's pulled out their post that's got this concrete on it, and
This Riverton, didn't they put theirs down by the river? Just for erosion control?
so I don't officially know what they do. I know that they've got stuff over, but the Rendezvous Pond has a collection there. I don't know as a city what their policy is, if they're still accepting. I know contractors are taking stuff that area, Smith Monroe. I don't know where it's actually hitting the
I
ground.
just used to live on Town Drive. They used to put it back there for the erosion of the banks of the river.
my feeling is if you say yes to one, you have to say yes to everybody.
Yeah,
I would suggest a no.
I'll call her again in the morning, tell her to go.
The same thing that you ought to be, I don't know if you can announce this or not, so the county tripled the disposal fee on tires in November. So
No tires.
no tires, so it went from. Anyway, the per unit now is roughly $12. So if it's in a load, they charge you 4 cents a pound for your load plus an $8 per tire fee. If there's an excess of, I think, 6 tires in a container, then it goes from the $80 a ton fee to $232 a ton for the entire load. So
No tires, no concrete.
Yeah.
no tires, no concrete.
Did we kick around appliances, old appliances? We used to take them. Do we want to mess with that?
So in lieu of that, I would say if there again, refrigerators and freezers are garbage. Stoves, washers, dryers, okay, dishwashers. not so much. The easiest thing to do is to not do refrigerators and freezers, as far as to
Okay.
simplify it, say you can deal with the onesie twosie. In the past, we can provide a container for scrap metal that helps. But I would say no. Appliances containing Freon, that's the easiest way to
Right.
put it. So that also kicks out air conditioners, the little
Right?
window mount air conditioners, freezers and refrigerators. So they can, the citizens they can take them to Riverton. Riverton has a program for those types of product that are, like I said, in lieu of liability for the town, you're better off saying, take your
Right.
paint, take your antifreeze, take your oil. It's all free disposal in Riverton at the transfer station.
Right.
Saw a pretty good one on paint, that they were painting, I don't know, cardboard or something. Paint it, let it dry, paint it, let it dry, paint it, let it dry. Next thing you know, you don't have paint to dispose
Carpet.
of. Carpet, maybe
It's
it was,
carpet.
something like that.
So you can take. So people lay out a plastic sheet like a tarp, they put wood chips on top of that and they dump their oil on that or their antifreeze on that or what. Anything that was no longer liquid, then it's
Right.
the way it goes. But as far as if the town gets into it.
And I was like, why are you painting that? I'm getting rid of this paint.
So otherwise it goes hazmat, to
Right.
get rid of stuff. You say it'll dry in latex or it doesn't matter.
Once it's dry, then you just throw it away.
Yep, it passes the paint filter test. Even oil on wood chips, it passes the test at that point, so it goes.
That's all I have. Any questions?
What would it take to get some of that pipe and all that cleaned up by the water tower? I think Councilman Zant, you mentioned that like 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah, I'm
I mean-
surprised BLN hasn't jumped. in
Yeah, I
place.
mean, we're gonna get in a bind with them.
What's
We're
the
looking
tower?
for,
Water tank. By well 6, is that right? There's every time they replace pipe.
oh,
they
there's
just leave it out.
parts everywhere out
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, every time it's broke and it keeps going further to the north,
If
then they
those,
put in new pipes, then it goes, the next
PVC?
breaks north.
It's what, 6-inch pipe?
Yes.
PVC or metal?
Eight,
8-inch?
yeah.
PVC, but there's a
Well,
bunch
no,
of
that's
metal out
10
there
inch,
too,
10
valves and stuff laying around.
Yeah.
We took some of it and we made a culvert out of it for access to well 5, because that was pretty deep.
Yeah.
So we took one piece of it, maybe about 20 foot.
I'd hate to see us get in a bind with the BLM for trash and.
No, correct.
Is it under 20
But
foot?
Mike, he was looking at the
Could be
Yeah.
the sawzall.
mechanical joints.
Most of it is 20, under 20, because it's
The
all
joints
broken
are
up.
20,
Yeah, so it's been broken and,
Yeah, Mike, he's been looking at the mechanical joints for, take them for scrap. There's a lot of them.
Sounds like good community service project. Go pick up plastic, little pieces.
Well, these are pretty long. There's one culvert out there too, did you see it?
It might be something you could talk to the mushroom farm about, because you see them out there with garbage sacks cleaning all that area over there.
They're losing their crew.
Oh, are they? I just see that
I
they're always out
think
there.
they leave this week. So they're in a reset phase, so the visa expires, so and they don't get resumed services until July,
Oh, my.
August. It's a terrible program. Yeah, they're shutting down for the season. I said, what do you mean this season? It just started.
Yeah.
We should probably get that squared away though, before we get in a bind on that, I think.
Yeah, we haven't had a BLM representative drive by there.
Well, and it's just being a bad steward of the land.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll try to get some of that pipe on there.
I've had a citizen talk to me about Centennial Park, the lack of wood chips. they probably need to be replaced.
Okay,
But we're getting in the budget for a wood chipper, and that'll solve that right there for nothing.
Well, you could get semi-loaded wood chips at the Casper landfill. I don't know,
You can get them in Riverton.
wood chips? I don't know
Yeah.
what's, I don't know if they, because it's a playground, they have to have a certain type or certain size. That's sometimes to be
Yeah, try to-
investigated.
So the city of Riverton, it's the city, not the county, so they offer a pallet chip, which has been screened, but it's all, they segregate all their wood pallets. No, it's not supposed to have any treated wood of any kind in it, so they have a pallet chip that the longevity is a little bit longer, and then they also have a mulch that has more branches and some grass twigs type stuff in it.
Is there nails and staples in that pallet?
No, so it runs across the magnet when they grind it. I would say it's a very clean product. Price wise, it seems like it was say around $15 a yard to purchase it. If you wanted to go more upscale, Casper offers from their landfill various colors that they colorize their mulch. So they have a red and a gold and a black, brown. I think those prices are someplace around $30 a cubic yard. About 10 times cheaper than Walmart when you think about buying the
Yeah.
individual bag,
Yeah.
but both places can load in bulk if that was.
Yeah.
Something that was wanted.
Like they'll load it in the back of this.
Dump truck?
They do dump trucks, so we do roll-off boxes, so we'll haul garbage in and they fill it in the roll-off, so like on the town cleanup type thing, we could. Not that I'm supporting me, as a suggestion. We could run the garbage in and then bring a load of wood chips back. You could dump half of it at the park here, you could dump half of it over at the SRD park or something like that, as far as just. We can get a lot of wood chips and. It's a 30-yard box, so it's about 3 times your dump truck load. Yeah, but it is very, I mean, the fee is very. You can't grind on your own for what they're willing to sell it for. They also had the sewer plant, just since we're on the topic, if you need black dirt. So they have lots of black dirt, potting soil, different things that they sell at the sewer farm in Riverton, and it's very cheap. Like dollars per yard.
They load it.
They use a backhoe there. They have at the city transfer station, they have a big front end loader. And it doesn't. This might require an appointment. The city stuff typically does not require an appointment.
Good information. Anybody, any other questions, Mike, anybody? Thanks a lot. See you Friday. Uh, Do you have anything, Mike, you like that?
I think for general knowledge, as I understand it, the motel is not going to be open this season. Don't know if that matters to the general public or not. I met with the manager last week. And he said they'd come back, they were going to resume services. It's not happening today. It appeared that they were removing the furniture from the rooms loaded on a gooseneck trailer to take to one of the other hotels within the chain of them. He did not know if or when that would.
They did bring furniture from Riverton today to here,
It came from Riverton here.
because I have a girl that works at that motel they're getting the furniture from. And she said they've been taking truckloads all day to over here.
Good. So that means it wasn't coming out. I saw it loaded driving by this afternoon.
Yeah, they did take some up to Minnesota, but some of it went here. So,
They didn't say anything about opening to you, did they?
I believe they paid their water bill.
Yeah, they should be opening. Yeah, that was.
So they,
I couldn't heard that.
no, so I think he's gone. Todd's gone.
Yeah.
Todd's gone, but they have another guy coming in.
Um,
Yeah.
They might not have shared that with Todd
Yeah, they have another guy coming in.
to manage it for him.
Mhm.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Todd was pretty bummed. He assured me he's moving back to Wyoming. Maybe not Shoshoni, but he's coming back to Wyoming.
Yep. Yeah,
So,
yeah, because they just paid out their water bill from last year. So they could get the water on.
Bob,
I don't have anything.
Jake,
No, sir.
no, we're working on, for our trailhead out of Rock Park. We'll start putting that together to get that out for bid for a contractor. And hopefully we can get that going this year, and then we'll work on our other projects on the, out there, so that's sort of moving good. Shooting range, we're still working with landowners and BLM. I don't know if we can get enough land on private and or state land that will satisfy the state to put together what they want for the initial project without BLM, so that's we're still working on that, but and we don't have a we don't have a path forward without using a lot of government property. We got the best site to put it, but it involves a lot of government property, and I don't know if we can make that work, so that's where we're at with that. I guess I don't have anything else that I need to bring up that I can think of, so.
Make a motion.
That's what I'm waiting for.
Audience.
Have a motion to
Oh,
adjourn.
okay, never mind.
Audience question.
Oh, I have an audience, please.
Number 19. On the agenda.
Oh, yeah. I used to think that was a good point.
I'm Bo Weaver, and I put a thing on the Shoshone Town site on Facebook that I run. That gets out to the whole community,
Yes.
and just did a positive post on, what do the people, want? What are their expectations on how we can improve the town? What's your guys' opinions? And I'll say I didn't get anything negative. Nothing was negative at all. I did get a list. Some were just wishful thinking and stuff, but I decided to read them to you guys real quick if you don't mind.
Yeah, I looked at that.
Just because,
Yeah, you
it's kind of like the mayor's letter, or,
You bet.
when you guys are reaching out to the people, or when you have your little box outside, for suggestions for
Right.
the town.
You bet.
It just got to more people faster.
Yes.
And I was just trying to find more positive things instead of the negative garbage that goes around sometimes. So 1 second. So we had, I think Jurgen was just, saying what everybody here always knows is, we could use a restaurant desperately, so just your typical stuff there, which is, it's true, we'd like to get someone in here someday. And then we had people saying paving the roads, and I talked to them about how, sewers first, and we have to wait till the grants come, and, hands are tied and the money's not there. So, trying to clarify that for people. And then Sadie O'Neill was saying if we can't get them paved, can we get them maintained better? And I
Sure,
was just throwing that at you guys. Like I said,
you bet.
there's no complaints. Monica wrote a pretty good one. Nunez. Personal opinion is fix up the looks of the town from the beginning, like from the medical center on, I know money's tight on everything, but I just want to let you guys know what the people were thinking. She was saying, that cosmetically wise and people need to want to live here and stay here and not pass through. Our town council has made terrific efforts, but restaurants, motels, and shopping areas need employees, and to make them succeed in order to have employees, there needs to be more housing, which you guys are working on. In order there to be there need to be beauty and comfortability. We live so close to the water, Poison State Park. Shoshoni needs to be that wonderful place that people want to live in and not just want to stop by on the way through. We need to be the oasis for the crossroads of Wyoming. One person was saying, try and get the fiddle contest back.
What's a
Don't know
fiddle?
how feasible that is.
Yeah, and I'd love to see, but I don't even know if it exists anymore. It went to Thermopolis for a while.
With the Casper.
Is it in Kansas still going?
I don't.
I don't
think
know.
so.
No, that was great times. I enjoyed that when I was young.
We talked about that on the last summer nights.
Yeah.
We have a good community with good bones and people who strive for growth, with people that want to strive for growth. We really appreciate the questions being answered tremendously. Thank you so much for asking this important question. Improving our town's gateways and providing services, groceries, car wash, laundromat, eatery, etc. would be nice. Affordable housing. I would move back in a heartbeat if there were houses to rent or own at a decent price. I mentioned some of the buildings going on. I think Mike might be doing one. I talked about some of the other houses that's going on, Perry's and stuff like that also. One person put a youth center, which Chris has talked about forever. Don't know where we're at with that or if it's feasible, but I wanted to bring that out. Another person said Dollar General would be great. Jordan Whitener, simple things I'd like to see get done are finish the medical clinic and give it an outside facelift. Make town hall as appealing outside as it is on the inside. Talked about the roads need to be fixed for the infrastructure, but I said that's already being done.
And please read the rest of that.
Of Jordan's?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Excuse me, because I cracked my phone.
We're still out the loop.
I'm gonna do Facebook.
Let's see here, the company that put the infrastructure in, tore up, blah, that's done. Keep working on the new town addition plots. Hopefully secure a new water well or two being drilled in a short time, or at least have a plan in effect for the master water study. This is probably already being done. Finish fixing the lagoon in the poor design. Keep the town moving forward with the longevity in the future in mind. I believe Monica and lots of others have great ideas. Our town has made so much substantial growth in the last 10 years. Instead of complain about grammatical errors, nitpick, and claim of a speed trap, find every problem wrong and finding everything wrong with what a person has done. Ask yourselves what you have done to help this town improve and grow. How have you made an impact? How have you donated your time or money to the town or community? Instead of tearing people down and picking them apart, how about we find reasons to lift each other up? Everyone's known to make mistakes, and that's life. Let's be a better version of ourselves today, and we all were yesterday. Forgive and forget, and let's keep the town moving forward and onward.
Yes.
David Manchester said, I would like to see more of the streets repaired and paved, which we've gone there. I would like to see better snow removal on the streets in town during the winter. And I think that was more or less just lack of having personnel for that, wasn't it? For on the winter part?
Well, personnel and equipment,
Yeah.
you know, with the
Didn't we have-
equipment we had. the
Because we had
personnel
hard
we
time.
had,
All the snowplows
guys
broke?
really did good.
Yeah.
They, you know,
Yeah.
the
So
winter before where we had all the snow.
the snowplows broke now or?
Winter before, we had all that snow.
The
They did a
snowplow
hell of a
was
job
hand-
keeping the road
Oh, yeah, I mean, that
clear
was
of
unbelievable.
snow, compared to Raritan to Lambert, about.
Yeah,
So they said that wasn't good snow removal. I beg to differ on that one. But last year, yeah, we had some issues, even though we had less snow.
right.
Is the plow still functionable or is it? It is okay.
Yeah, it was, they had to fix some stuff.
Yeah,
And then David Manchester also had, I thought was a good idea. Also, what about a mural on the highway side of Town Hall? So there's another thought. Another person said they know a great mural artist. Cindy O'Neill said I would absolutely love to see one. And Ray Berg, the grocery store would be good. And then Debbie Miller, clean up the main street and make it look appealing. It is awful. I don't know what she said there. And it also said, she said something, bring back senior housing. Well, we have senior housing, so
Yeah.
I don't know. Is there anything going on with that? I know you guys have talked about expanding on the senior housing.
we're
Still looking.
looking into that. There's a lot. A lot into that. You know, we have some really affordable senior housing. I don't know anybody any less in the state. But if you new construction to make it where it's gonna pay for itself, the rates won't be there, but there may be methods and avenues to where or something that can be done. And we're looking into that, but it involves, you know, HUD, maybe, or WCDA that work together to develop something like that. But it's, you know, we definitely can't afford to build them and not pay for themselves.
Mhm.
So there, we have some obstacles. One that we don't have, if you had 100 units, then it's much easier. It's a lot more, but financially easier to manage for 50 or, you know. But where we have 12, we'd like to have 4 more, you know. So how we're looking on means, and I've been working, talking with them on how to.
Yeah, because
To
I mean,
develop
I know it's been being looked into when I was on the council,
Right,
so I
and
know
then-
there's a big process on it.
But but also when you're dealing with, you get the government involved, then it takes a lot more paperwork on our staff and everything to do that. And they say they've simplified things, but boy, you know what I mean,
Mm.
about anything. I mean, so do we, to have the staff to do that extra, so we're trying to do a balancing act.
Mhm.
And so I want to be careful how much I push on.
No, you're good.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, you're good, you're good.
You know, but we're working on it, and I agree, because that's been our goal
Mhm,
from you and I when we was looking at this stuff
mhm.
5-6 years ago, you know?
Gotcha.
Yeah, so still, we're we're working towards that, but sometimes you gotta take little steps.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha. And then Amber Dye said bike park. You know how you were talking about maybe over there by your new trailhead deal, possibly because of low maintenance and stuff like that. There's a couple people that thought a bike park would be good for the kids and be a
Yeah.
place for them to sled on during the winter and stuff like that.
Sure, yeah,
Just looking at low maintenance,
yeah, we'd like to have a water park.
well, yeah,
Yeah, with bike park, you just kind of build it and
Yeah. Pretty easy.
and then TJ Cornell
spray weeds or something.
pave some roads, which we know that one. Replace the street signs. Move out all
And
the,
I actually like that idea,
that's a great one, because some of them are
Yeah.
bad. It's not a super expensive fix and it's just pleasant. to
But
look at.
that's something,
Yeah.
again, we talked about years ago, we ought to
Mhm.
do
Yeah,
that. Yeah, but it's good to hear this input from the public and we're gonna
That's what I'm trying to do since I'm
bet.
not on here, just trying to get the people to be able to,
get
I
involved.
mean, yeah, because they don't, a lot of people have time to come down, they don't think about the box and everybody looks at that site, so I was like, I'll try and utilize it to help.
But-
Um. Move out all the abandoned trailer houses, well, that's an expense and I get that one, but it would be nice if the people that owned them would do more, but it does look a lot better out that way.
I know Nucor got rid of theirs or Bebout. Over on the landowner got, they stepped up and they helped clean up. They got rid of theirs.
Good. And then TJ also talked about town hall building mural. More weed control. But I know it's on help and everything else, but that's just what, that people are saying. Affordable housing, which is everywhere across the world. Or at least in this country.
Attainable housing.
Yeah,
We call it attainable housing.
Let's see.
One part of, with the interest rates they are now. Really is hurting our builders that are wanting to build. Attainable housing, because the interest rates on their construction loans is really tearing them up. I mean, that's a big deal.
Yeah, it's right.
I mean, that's
They're not even,
I think Mike could probably build some if we got the interest rate low enough, huh?
even the sawmills. Logging wise, you're getting deducted so much on your loads on the size of the logs. They're not paying much because they've got so much of it milled into what they want cut, and then they got logs everywhere. There's not a lot moving. So, hopefully it'll come down because they're overstocked. It's just not moving. And they're not paying much on that. I just know that because I have a couple of friends that have some
Okay.
logging businesses.
Scrap metals the same way. Overseas demand has dropped dramatically and we're in lower prices than COVID. Scrap.
Yeah. I'm not sure if I can say this name right. I think it's Ricky Neal, RYKKI.
Yes,
We could always, I'm just gonna go through some of it because some of it's already been said. We could always benefit from more collaboration and communication between all entities, actively supporting and building each other up and continuing to work towards a more welcoming atmosphere for all citizens, businesses, and visitors. Being the crossroads and so close to outdoor recreation, Shoshoni has a lot of potential. People talked about how Shoshoni used to have all the trees, would like to see the trees come back. And grass, make the town more appealing. Everyone likes a green, shady town. Bro Guy says you're all doing good things there and are doing the right stuff to get things done. Keep doing what you're doing. I do agree with something dropped it. All right, Mary Berg, is the school still with a music program, and I can't answer that. And the last one would be tennis court makeover at Travis Park, but that's not in the deal, I don't believe.
Everybody's asked more for a pickleball.
yeah,
Yeah,
pickleball is
popular.
that's popular everywhere. People my age can play it.
And then the one I have for me is, I brought it up before, and I know the school year is almost over and everything. We have all these great crosswalks where you push a button, so on and so forth, kids get to school safely. But one of the biggest ones that goes to the school doesn't have necessarily the traffic I got here. We have the sign saying crosswalk and everything, but you look at the road, there's no crosswalk there. There's nothing on the road. I saw a guy go flying through there with a kid in it, and he had to go like this last second. Granted, he wasn't paying attention, but I just wondered if the crosswalk would help. And
Where's this at?
just right over there on the way to school, going down California, right by the LDS church.
On California Street
Yeah.
itself?
Yeah, it's just, you have a sign there, but
Okay.
there's no paint on there at all.
That's
And I-
just volunteer to pay them.
I don't know.
It's
I
a
had-
town street, therefore we should be able to paint it
Right.
ourselves.
Yeah, because I don't know if that would be,
Together, we'll paint it.
I don't know if that would be a town liability if someone got hit there, or I have no clue. I just wanted to throw that at you because like I said, I personally saw cars. And he was lucky too, because I have seen the police patrol through there quite often. The other thing is, I think as a team, you guys are doing really well together. I have no issues with anybody on here. I've said that to everybody on here. But I have a question. And it goes to each one of you. I myself really support our police department, not just because my son is a police officer, but I've seen what Chris has built and what he's turned it into. I've talked to former chiefs, I've talked to other police officers. I mean, he gets nothing but high marks. And I want to know individually, do you guys support what Chris has done with his police department?
Oh, I do, and I see what he does in Riverton too.
Mhm.
A lot of people don't realize they come to Riverton to help out. And so like with that wolf thing, they were all down there at the Holiday Inn on top of the ones at, we had highway patrols at the RPD, you know, in Riverton,
Mhm.
but they're always there to help with the others. And I'm really proud to say that they came from Shoshoni.
Yeah, because their numbers are really low. They need the help over there. Jake,
You know I do.
Mr. Mayor?
Yeah, this is what Chris is building is our vision together of the community policing and what he's built with the support of the council.
Mhm.
The governing body supported to do that and yeah, I strongly support our police department and others.
Perfect. Bob?
I do, and I'm seeing more patrols on the side streets,
Mhm.
which is something that people need to see more often. I mean, they patrol California a bunch, that's where I see them the most, because that gets a lot of traffic up to the school.
Yeah, I see
I'm
him.
glad to see that.
I see California and Maple. Heck, I even see him going down 7th past my house.
Yeah.
And I totally appreciate that, because some of them speeders, I've had a couple instances where it almost got up. When I was out there with my dog.
That's part of community policing.
And Mike,
Yes. I couldn't think of anything witty to say, so.
well, no, that's all I had, and I hate to,
Well,
hold
I've
your
heard a
guys'
lot of
meeting.
compliments, like you said, about our police force helping in Riverton.
Yeah,
Maybe
I've
they'll
heard
give
it
you
from the
decals
mayor
for
of
your truck.
Riverton.
It's crazy when Shoshoni's gotta bail out.
Don't
Riverton.
splash Riverton.
Well, all the other departments, nothing, not saying anything bad, they're having a hard time keeping positions filled, and Chris doesn't seem to have an issue with it, and I've been a fan of everybody here, and you know, I was critical of Neil when he first came on. And I think he's doing an excellent job now. I
When he
mean,
came back.
yeah, when he came
Came
back,
back.
since he's been back, he's been incredible. I don't know what's changed, maybe changing his career path for a little bit over there helped him out, but I tell you what, he polices the town. He talks to people. I mean, he'll goof around with people. He'll drive down the alley and look for people he knows just to make talk as he's going by. You know, he's doing really good, but I don't want to keep you guys any longer because I know you guys are all work.
I can answer about the music program. Shoshoni's got a rockin', at least elementary wise, got a rockin' music program. They're doing, I think it's Mr. Neal, maybe. He's doing a fantastic, I think he's Shoshoni alumni, I believe.
He is.
Doing a fantastic job. He's got the support of the principal and stuff, and I got kids in there and it's like, whoa. I was a little taken back by how good he's doing with them.
Perfect. Well, thanks for answering my questions from myself and the people of the town, and I'll do it again probably in a few months, just see where we're at.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
thanks, I think you guys are doing a really good job.
I believe the vast majority of the Shoshone citizens do support our police department.
No, I agree. I agree.
I think they do well, and it's, you know, very top to bottom, very good department.
Like I said, I don't hear a lot of rumblings about any individual person in here. I think people are content with how things are working in here, and you guys have your disagreements and you have your agreements, but you know, like stuff like with Chris and stuff, that's huge to me, and I think it's huge to a lot of people.
Mhm.
So thanks for you guys' time.
Thank you. Thank you. Now.
Back to you, Mike.
Can I make that motion? To adjourn this.
Been moved by Councilman Hartke and seconded by Councilman Zan that this meeting, regular meeting, the Shoshone Town Council is over. All in favor, any further discussion? None being, all in favor, say aye. Aye, opposed the same. Motion passes all in the affirmative.
8:45.
8:45.